Hey there, Otaku Ken-chan, back with another episode of Go Mega Otaku Gamer Alpha. Wasting no time, let's get right down to it. Today we're going to have a look at a novelty system, actually. Today we're going to take a look at the Geo X Gold. Now, the Geo X actually consists of 3 components, but the actual thing that matters of these 3 things is this. This is the machine where everything happens. Okay, this is the actual computer. This is the working machine. Here, okay, everything that happens on this system happens in here. Okay, this is basically your basic handheld game system. It has games built into it. It has a slot here for SD card, on-off switch right here. Okay, on the top, along the top, if you run along the top here, you see we have an HDMI, an AV out. Here we have a USB. R1 and R2 buttons, L1 and L2 buttons right here. Outside clicker, you got yourself a joystick, your typical SNK. Neo Geo click, clickety, click, 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 joystick, stick, stickety, stick, stick, stick. A, B, C, and D buttons there for action. You got a start button there and a menu button there. On the bottom here, you have a volume control there. Earphones. And brightness control. Okay, and on the back you have nothing. It's just a back. And how this works is this actually plugs into this. It would make more sense to me if it did this, plugged into this, but that's not what it does. What it actually does is it goes in here. You slide it in here. And those prongs right there, you got an HDMI, you have a AV thing, and you got a power thing there, and it shows you how to lay it in there. This is, in my opinion, not that very good of an idea. I think it would have been way better if the thing would have, snapped into the top like a cartridge. I think that would have been way cooler. But you have to open this thing up, and this is ridiculous. You have your power switch here. And of course, while this is in here, charging or whatever, you can play on this station. This, this gaming station here. Docking station. You dock the thing in there. You can turn your power on here. Here's the open switch to open the thing. A USB for player 2. As far as the rest of the thing, it is sparse. On the back you have your HDMI, your AV, excuse me, and your power. And that's it for that. Then you have here this joystick, and we're going to take a look at in a second a real SNK Neo Geo joystick and compare it to this. This feels like the same thing to me, really, for the most part. And we'll show you just how close those 2 things are, and we'll compare the console part too. Even though this really isn't the console, this is the console. This is what matters. this is just a housing thing, and it allows you to connect it to your TV. I don't know, and I'm not going to try it if it's not supposed to work this way. I don't know that you can't just connect this via the, the HDMI slot, on the back here, right to your TV or your AV. I imagine you can. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. But, again, I'm not going to, just go ahead and start farting around with it and trying that. These are going to be a collector's item, I feel. I feel that they're going to be big for collectors at some point. Right now, I think they just recently discontinued manufacturing these or issuing them or distributing them or whatever. Now let's compare a real Neo Geo to this Neo Geo X. Okay, this is a real Neo Geo. This is a Neo Geo X. Let's compare the sizes of these things, shall we? And we'll do this. We'll stand them up on end like this. And we will have a look there. And you can see that one is significantly smaller than the other. The new one is much smaller, the redesign, and that's because there's no real guts in it at all. It's not really a real Neo Geo. If you look at it like this, you can see that this is, in fact, smaller than the real thing. Not too drastically much smaller, but it's just a little bit bigger than the controller that comes with it by a hair. But it is smaller. Now, to make this do anything, you need this. Okay, because this is useless on its own. To make this do anything, well, obviously it had its own, it had its own internal guts. But to make it work, you need to have this. One of these cartridges. I did another review on this. If you want to go watch that, if you haven't seen it, please do. These well-known SNK Neo Geo AES carts, boards actually with, two boards in them, one for sound, one for graphics. That's the classic there. Now, if we compare, this is a real, get this out of the way here as we move on to, the joysticks. Here's the new and the old. These are pretty much identical, except for, obviously, the logo is a little different. But, and if I grab hold of them, they feel the same. This plastic I think this plastic here is just ever so slightly lighter than this. Maybe it's a different kind of polymer that they used for it, I don't know. But you really can't really tell the difference, except this one's cleaner. But if you look at the ends, obviously this is a classic because look at that. And then, of course, the new one has the USB connections that plug into the USB connections. In the front of the, the Neo Geo X Gold. So anyway, you get the idea there. It is a novelty machine. It was not put out to compete. And this just came out, last year? Something like that. It's not out on the market to compete with like a PS3 or or even a PS4. It's out to be a novelty system. It's for all the people that, remember the Neo Geo, that want to live all that again and have all that again, and oh crap, I should never have sold my Neo Geo. What am I going to do? Wow, I missed that. Well, no, you don't have to miss it. It comes with 20 games that are loaded onto it, and then you get also, there's a free card that comes with it, and that pops out here. This is called Ninja Masters, and it's a fighting game a la just every other freaking fighting game that SNK ever made, closer to Samurai Spirits or Samurai Showdown. I am not aware of any other ROMs that you can load on this or anything like that. I've heard rumors like that. If you know how to do that and you claim that that can be done, by all means do. Leave a comment, post a video on how to do it, whatever. But I personally don't know anything about anything like that. I just know that this is a very cool novelty system. Not a bad thing to have for any collector. We've seen these games a million times. We're going to see them 1,000,001 today. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this thing and look at some of the games. I'm going to forego looking at the games on the handheld. The games look the same on the handheld as they would on the TV. This is not a pocket color. This is, a real deal. This actually looks good. If you play any of these games, any of these Neo Geo games that you can get, maybe like the Samurai Showdown Anthology or the Collection or whatever, that you put it on your PS Vita or something like that, it's going to look the same on here. This screen is quite large. It's almost as big as a Vita screen. It's a pretty impressive screen for what you get, in this package. It's not a bad deal at all. But we're going to go ahead and look at this on the big screen. I'm running HDMI. You can also run AV, but I'm going to go ahead and run HDMI, and we're going to take a look at these games. So let's go for it. Now, as I said, this thing kind of slides in here. Like so. Right on. And then bye-bye. You're out of here. Alright, we're booting that up. And when it boots up, of course, at first, takes it a couple of seconds. Like quite a few seconds. I flicked the switch like a good 5 seconds ago. But you see what it does. It takes a little bit because it has to run into the handheld, and I guess it has to activate the joystick. It has, it's not an instant thing, but once it's up, and you can cycle through the games that are on here like this. Now let's make sure we have ample volume here. I don't want to play something and not have volume. So let's have a look at Last Resort here. And you just push A, and then we get this. Probably be a good idea to wipe this screen off at some point. The problem with doing that, though, is you make a bigger mess on something like that, on something like this, and it would just leave it alone. Yeah. So we do this. And this is really cool. I'm not going to get any power-ups doing stuff like that. Wow. So you get the idea there. Now let's the menu button is actually on the Neo Geo X console itself. You know where the reset button is on the Neo Geo, and you just hit that, and it gives you that. And then we go to quit, and it comes out of it, and we go back to the menu select. So let's go ahead and pick a goodie here. Yeah, you know, you can't go wrong with Metal Slug.
Metal Slug.
All right. Here we go.
Mission 1, start.
Wow, I got bombed. Little Samurai Showdown 2. Yeah, the future is now alright. You can't Neo Geo without Samurai Showdown. Even though this is HDMI, I don't know that this is the best way to do this. I haven't tried this on AV yet, because most of my AV inputs are full. In fact, right now all my HDMI inputs are full too. But this still, you know, it looks good in high def. I'm not complaining. Very easy to navigate in and out of this. It's not, again, it's not a modern console. You don't have to wait for downloads. You don't have to do anything like that. We're going to go ahead and look at this Ninja Masters. This is the game card. that's in the machine, in the handheld itself. Remember, the handheld is the machine, not the rest of it. The rest of it is just a charger that allows you to plug the handheld into your TV, and then it allows you to connect a USB Neo Geo controller, you know, to the whole mess and do it like that. That's all that is. Natsumi.
勝負第一戦開始
I'm not that familiar with this game, but that doesn't matter.
戦勝
Neo Geo and fighting games is...
開始
I mean, even the games that they made that weren't fighting games were still fighting games. Yeah. Really, I mean, when it comes right down to it. They spare no expense with the blood.
完全勝利
And there it is. Wow. Well, you know, there you have it. Now, at the end of the day, this machine is a novelty act. And it is. Again, it's not out there to compete with the PS3. They never released it to do anything like that. I believe at this point they are done making these. I don't think that they're going to be making any more of them. It was a limited edition collector's type thing, and for people that are nostalgic for the old Neo Geo, and here it is. It's a great way to give it to you. You got this portable that has the Neo Geo games, that plugs into the Chumpy over there, that then takes it to your TV, gives you that classic joystick feel. You know, it delivers everything that it says it's going to deliver. It doesn't make any crappy promises that it can't deliver on. And it's not a bad little number. These would be, again, for either hardcore collectors only or the absolute really super casual collector. I know that doesn't make any sense maybe, but it does. You know, the hardcore collector is going to want it because it's Neo Geo, and it's one more Neo Geo thing that they can have in their collection. But a casual collector that just wants to have something, you know, from the Neo Geo era, I mean, this is the way really to do it. Versus going and getting a real Neo Geo and trying to score games for it. That's a little bit more hardcore, although you can do that casually. That's a little bit more hardcore than just having all the good stuff given to you in one fell swoop. So, there you have that. It's the Neo Geo X Gold by SNK.